Hi. So, this topic is a good one, but it's at the moment it's a little raw for me. So just bear with me with that because it's very raw with me right now. I'm in pain still, but boy was I in a high pain last night. So this is just a little touchy for me today. It's about being sick, in pain, and autistic, or being sick and in pain and autistic. And for our carers or our special people, whoever they may be, that have to endure that with us. We have to admit that that's kind of a ride, isn't it? But at the same time, we need to be given grace, because when we are sick or in pain and we are autistic, there's two things that are going on. One, we're like everybody else. No one likes being sick, no one likes being in pain, or no one likes being sick and in pain. And second, we have sensory issues. And there's a lot of discomfort involved in pain and sickness. So that just adds a second layer of and so last night I have these episodes, or I should say patches of time with my condition where I'm in a lot of pain. It's almost scary too sometimes, because it's like, is this it? Is this just the last little slope? I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm actually not being dramatic. It is actually that scary. It is actually that frightening. It's like, oh dear, Jesus, can we just have a little chat? But this time I want a biofeedback. Talk to me. I get scared. And that's another thing about being level 2, is I'm autistic. And things like being sick like I am, I don't know. There will be a point where it's the end, but there is no concrete to that with my condition. But I'm an autistic and I'm like, I need concrete. My therapist is going to have so much fun with me. Not at all. But she's trained in autistics with IDD, so she'll be fine. It's me that's going to have the problem. It's me that's going to have the problem. So, but I need concrete, right? I need facts. When? How? What's it going to feel like? What are you all going to do? It's not going to be like that. And life isn't like that, actually. And I have studied the process, because in psychology, you do a lot of stuff about medical. You actually do a first year med unit in it. And you do know a lot about the process, because along with studying the psychological process, you do study the process. So I do kind of know, but it's just, is this it? Especially with my condition, because last night, and I've got proof of this because in videos, I watch videos. He makes me, because I'm like, I don't remember that. And I watch these videos and I go, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So I have state of confusion a lot. I am prodromal to dementia. So that's it's always a fear. I hate it. I hate this forgetting thing. Like I forgot Sir's birthday, remember? It's horrible. It's just, something's eating my brain. And It's like this morning, I was like, you gave me this yesterday and that's why I felt horrible. And he's like, I didn't give you that yesterday. That was the day before. And I argued like a dementia patient. I'm 52. And this, I know this isn't the pain part, but this is sickness. And here I am defending myself hard. And you know why? Because autistics, when we were little kids and we finally get our voice, we finally get some things right and we start to get confident. And here I am now, I'm back again to being told, oh, sweetie, no. Just, oh gosh. I'm back to square one. I'm going backwards. So anyway, that's the worst case scenario. I'm the worst case scenario, autistic, sick. Okay, so it's okay. So it's not all about me. Let's move on to the broad here. When an autistic is sick or in pain or both. First, they may get quieter. That's really tough. He gets really annoyed by that. Why didn't you tell me that the whole last 12 hours you didn't go and do that? And I'm like, I don't know. The chemist is closed. I don't know. Okay? It's the autism. And I don't know why it makes me do that. I legit don't know. I'm 52. I still don't know. Ask Tony Atwood. He's my guru for autism. Ask Tony Atwood. He knows the girls real well for autism. Ask him. He really knows the deets. He knows details that I don't even know. I don't know how these autistic girls can have channels that go autism and this, and they get it so. And I'm like, how do you know yourself that well? I have to watch and read his books and go, that is me. Oh, he's been following me. What has he been doing? Hiding notes. She did this. I know behavioural intervention because I've studied it, so I know what you do. And I'm like, geez, was he at my school just hiding around corners? That's what it feels like. Anyway, he wasn't. But basically, it might go quiet. He gets frustrated. It's natural to get frustrated, obviously. I don't know, but you guys do. I give you grace. We are different. But I do ask for grace back because I get upset when you guys get frustrated at us. I get upset. I'm sensitive. Most of us autistics, very sensitive. We love. Okay, we only know the language of love, actually. We get really hurt, guys. We get really hurt. The only language we know is love. But just give us grace because we don't do it to be difficult, to make your life harder. Not at all. But interoception is a big one. Interoception. That is it. That's what's in the damn way of this problem is interoception. Interoception is the problem in this equation. Absolutely. It's like this block. It's like a block. So annoying. And you cannot, there's no therapy. There's nothing. It's like PDA. You know, look, as I've gotten older, I'll say, no, I'm not going to do that. and then I'll do it, right? Someone tells me to take my medicine, I go, I'm not going to do that, and I pick it up and I take my tablets, right? But I say no, and I absolutely enjoy that. I still take my tablets, but I enjoy the PDA. That's how I cope with my PDA, basically. Pervasive demand avoidance, right? So when someone tells me to do something, it's like, nah. It's like, it's a bit like the Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, nah. Or no. Yep. Make them think you're not, and then you do. Just let us be cheeky. Let it be a bit of a joke. Because that can get in the way of this situation too. Like, if you take this pain medicine, you're glad he's not in the room right now. I'm glad he's not in the room right now, because he'd be like, yeah, she doesn't take pain medicine when I tell her to. And then she rocks and she whinges and she cries, and I'm like, I could take your pain away with medicine from the doctor. No. PDA. Interoception's been hours before, so I'm knee deep in pain. And I'm crying and rocking. He's like, I could take it away. No. That's me. 52. And he's like, what else can I do? And he'll massage my feet, even if it's not my feet that's hurting, just to distract the pain. And he's like, I could help you. No. We're really difficult. Sometimes it could be a sensory problem, the medicine, or the thing that fixes the pain, or the sick part. Like if you're sick, the medicine for the sickness. It could be a sensory thing that we're going, aversive to. It could be that. And to others, it's, that's so silly, because it could just resolve everything. There's some nurses that are like that, they just don't get it. But there's a lot of nurses who want to get us, and I love you guys. There's a bunch of them researching us right now. Clap for those ones. I love you people. You should get like some kind of award. God's watching. Don't worry. He'll award you. But basically, there's so many things that are getting in the way. First, it's understanding that, we could be, irritable, and we'll admit that if it's pointed out probably. Yes, I'm grumpy. I'm mad. I'm angry. Go any further, get our emotion support cards, because most of us have alexithymia. Okay, I've got my cards, because I'm like, I only know a few emotions, don't stretch the situation. Get me my cards. And he'll get me my cards, and I'll just flick through and find which ones I feel, right? And you've got to keep digging. You do have to keep digging, but do get emotions cards. They are sold for children. You don't grow out of autism. Shops, can you say, for children/adults. We don't grow out of alexithymia. No, we don't. We absolutely do not. I mean, facial blindness even. I went to my doctor's and I smiled at some random dude, and I'm like, oh, you're not my doctor. Oh, there he is. Just like, what the fuck? Oh dear, this is a real problem, this facial blindness. Not an eyesight problem. It's a brain problem. It's a brain problem. But alexithymia is a real thing. So anyway, first we probably mistake it for, I'm emotional. That's what it is. It's probably not. That's the secondary problem that the pain's giving us. That's where the doctors and specialists get it wrong, you stupid idiots. Joking to the good ones. Not to the bad ones, though. They don't even try to understand the autistic variety. But basically, we could say that. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sad. but we're not. So you need to sometimes dig, right? Depending, I mean, and the younger the autistic is, yeah, the less their toolbox is developed, okay? We grow slow, okay? I've just learnt some sayings the last couple of years and gone, oh, I know where that saying comes from now. That makes sense. Damn, you learn something new every day. It's very embarrassing, but hey, I have IDD. Nice to meet you. Don't care. But basically, sometimes that emotion could be for pain reasons. They could be becoming sick with a flu or a cold. So you get to the bottom of that, you could find out there's a pain going on, a back pain, a hip pain, or if they've got a syndrome, or if they've got some condition, a common condition, you lucky buggers, one that every doctor and specialist just knows, and you get covered for everything. I'm joking, but like I'm still trying to get my oxygen. It's my poor my respiratory specialist. He's so lovely, and he's so angry now. He's like, for goodness sake, it's bureaucracy, guys. It's literally, there's just no box for rare. It's that stupid. I'm eligible. I need it. I've been scripted it multiple times. It is just bureaucracy. Anyway, we'll work it out. But, like, you know, people need to get to the bottom of why the person with autism is in pain. And I tell you, it might completely absolutely surprise you why you're autistic. You could get to the bottom of a migraine or a headache, and you might realize they're having headache problems, and do you know, especially as an autistic gets older, 30s, 40s, 50s, you need to really get in touch. I would even put a diary aside and do checks on your autistic's body, physical body. Get a good GP, keep in touch with our GP, having lots of checkups, as in depending on the age, depending on what's going on, and really keep an eye on that child, adult child I'm talking about, of just their physical health, even though you might think they are physically healthy, because autistics don't report physical symptoms, nowhere near as much as neurotypicals, and we die 30 years younger. Just without a syndrome like mine, without other things, can die 30 years younger if, and that can be eliminated, if they are not medically being monitored. And all of these things that I'm saying could be literally, that could be prevented by doing that kind of monitoring. So that starts at home. You could set up a monitoring system. You could even ask for your GP to explain, what can I do at home to monitor my autistic with their, health at home? So, and you know what those things are. Just think of the things that they sometimes monitor when you go for a general observation at hospital. Then, if your adult child complains of anything regularly that's physical, you just go and have a chat with the GP. It could be nothing, it could be something. Get regular bloods done. Blood tests can show lots of patterns. They compare it to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. My good doctor 9 years ago started doing that. And then you start seeing patterns sometimes and you go, oh, this keeps showing up. Oh, that's interesting. And you could just literally save a child's life, or pick up something, just something that really could give them a better quality of life. You really need to, and even like Alfred, gastroparesis, I had a lot of malnutrition showing up, but I was eating. But I had Alfred, which is a very restricted diet. Yep. And also, gastroparesis is a very big struggle. my food groups as I've gotten older has gone like this, which is very common for gastroparesis. The tolerance of food becomes less and less and less and less and less. So, and there's a lot of comorbidities. Coexisting conditions are things like OCD, ADHD. Comorbidities are medical conditions. So comorbidities that commonly come with autism are seizures, are, oh my goodness, why am I forgetting? Ehlers-Danlos loss. Now you're really testing me because it's been a while since I've looked them all up. I would even check for microcephaly, which is a simple measurement of the head. Oh gosh, they get a lot of fatigue because it's very exhausting being autistic. Fatigue is a big one, and it's a simple cure by having some time in the day for rest, because the immune system is put under pressure if you don't get rest. So there's sleep issues is a big one, and a doctor can really help you with sleep issues. Don't ever forget that. So there's a lot of issues that are physical. There's even more. You can even look up yourself or speak to your doctor. Now look, doctors are not that great on, look, when I say that, you can find an autism medical doctor autism aware medical doctors. They do exist, but there are a lot of doctors that you might have to do your own research before you go and say, look, I want my adult child checked for a few things, and they might be happy to do so, because some aren't aware of autism and what the comorbidities are of autism. But there are a lot if you do the research online at the comorbidities of autism. But autistics are highly likely to never say what they're going through. They will show signs of distress, and you might put it down to something else, and they might put it down to something else. They might tell you, yeah, I'm just hungry, actually, and they're not. And it's not their fault. And we should, and autistics out there, don't feel stupid. I know I always do. I always go, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I cry from embarrassment because I'm like, why did I not know myself? Like, how stupid. For the whole week, I've had UTI symptoms and I didn't even think that was a UTI. How stupid am I? And I'd cry and I'd feel really like stupid about it. We have to give ourselves grace as well. And then you tell your person, hey, I need to go to the doctor because this is most likely going on. Or even if you're just totally confused about things, I've got all these symptoms. What do you reckon I should do? I don't know what to do. You can do that. So that's another thing you can do. So I think us autistics is another thing is you could also, especially you level ones that do a little bit better with the functioning. Maybe, and even level twos, you can give it a go. I could too, maybe. Get a diary. Right, now I've got memory problems though between 2 Qs, so there's a little bit of extra stuff going on there, and I do have IDD, there's a little extra stuff going on there, but you could get a diary called your health diary. People use your phones, I know, I'm ex-gen. Do either which way, have a pretty diary, or you could use your phone. Write down anything that you feel is concerning about your health, and either take it to your GP and have regular visits booked in ahead of time so that you just have them booked in so you're forced to go, and spread them however, because if you're not a sick person, you don't have to go as often as a sick person, but for general health, you should always have a checkup, even if it's just for cholesterol or just for general blood work to be done. Seriously, you should. There's always general checks that should be done. But just write concerns down in your phone or in a diary. And if you are a carer of an autistic, if you are seeing certain health issues, concerns, write it down. Take your person to the doctor have a chat. What he does with me is the night before our doctor visit for me is we talk, and it's like, okay, yeah, what? And he says what his concerns are, and I say, well, this is all my medical stuff I'm annoyed about. And then the next day we're ready to go. Like everything's clear about what needs to be discussed with the doctor. So it's very important, because for many years my health was bad, and it was, I don't know, I guess it was never being addressed. It was always just going in circles, and I didn't have the ability to take care of myself in that sense, and it wasn't getting done. And from pretty much beginning in my early 30s, he was coming to my medical appointments and assisting me, because it was necessary. And even that wasn't enough. You've got to have the if you're in speech therapy, you already know this, you've got to have a social story. You've got to sit down and talk about, right, let's talk about the appointment before the appointment, because you can't do all of it in the appointment. Otherwise, the doctor's going to be like, oh, what's going on? You guys should have talked before you came in. Because doctors are busy, aren't they? They're busy. They're like, oh. So try and have a conversation about everything together before you go. Have a social story first, and make sure that it's sort of like, because many things pop up even in the social story. So, oh, hang on, yeah, that. We're on the same page on that. There's a concern there, isn't there? That's like, oh, sometimes things can be picked up in that, and it's like, we should ask the doctor about that. We really need to mention this to the doctor. That's really not good, or that's kind of concerning me, that one. That's been hanging around a while. And then when you talk to the doctor can make their decision medically on what do they think about that. And sometimes the doctor might, sometimes they need to hear it a few times too, before they go, this has been coming up a lot. Sometimes they do as well. So, oh, Willow. But medical is so important, guys, and I just want to say that from my experience, and I'm not letting off the health system for my late diagnosis at all. My late diagnosis is definitely their fault. There was many opportunities, particularly when I had my first heart problem and was rushed with a bunch of white coats around me and freaked me the hell out in my early 30s. And when she said to me, people that have what you've got have a major disease or something. She should have done something then. That should have not stopped. The investigation on me should not have stopped then. That should have been just the beginning. And the trauma of my health escalated from that pocket of time. I changed. I had a near-death experience. Like, so much of my life changed. I was so young. And so I do blame the system for my late diagnosis, because it could have been picked up if, as a woman with a heart problem, if I was believed. Oh, go figure. We're all so shocked, aren't we? So shocked. Oh, it is. That never happens, does it? A woman with a heart problem. That never happens. So anyway, but basically, it also is my communication problems with doctors. And second to that, pushing back at doctors when they say dumb stuff, because they gaslight you, because you know what the problem is with rare? They think that it's so rare that no one's going to have it. So please, if you are so medically complex and they keep saying, oh, you've got all these diagnoses and I don't know why, get genetic testing. If you've got the means to pay, get genetic testing. Because I'm telling you, they just keep saying the same rhetoric and it's damn wrong. Rare isn't that rare. It's rare because they don't test. They don't test. They just don't test. Rare doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, that it couldn't be you. It's just not the way it is. Of course it could be you. And the only way to know is to be tested. It's not going to hurt anything. It could be nothing, or it could be something. So, first thing, definitely communicate to your person in life, your carer, your confidant, your closest person as an autistic. If you're a carer, definitely take focus on the health of your autistic and take notes. Make sure you're seeing a regular GP. Please don't skip those points. If they've got ARFID, make sure you're supplementing. Make sure you're supplementing if they've got ARFID. A lot of us do. Okay, a lot of us do. If they're in pain and they're sick, we do have a lot of sensory issues, so you are going to have to find not just getting to the bottom of the pain by, maybe if they say they're sad, it could be more than that. There could be pain, but also you're going to have to work through the sensory issues of being sick and in pain. It's a two-way. It's a double-edged sword for us. And then also it's making sure that because we communicate our pain and sickness different to the doctor, is not being gaslit. That's a big one. And for anyone with health, if you're not getting anywhere and for some reason you've got a history like me with, you've got so many diagnoses, and you're like, why have I got so many diagnoses, and why are they thinking that, it's so funny? It's not funny. And you're thinking, I'm such a weirdo. Get genetic testing. Absolutely ask for genetic testing if you're covered for it. And you've got the means to pay for it, pay for it. That is my recommendation. Genetic testing it's the new age medical diagnostics, but they don't want you to know that because they make more money in the testing. Because one test or a few blood tests, it's anyway, that's just my opinion. For entertainment purposes only. That's just what I'm assuming, because they're so anti-doing it. I mean, they're so stingy about the test, and it's like, why? This could literally save so much money, but they're not into that, are they? Why? Anyway, that's just too political. Let's not go there. But that's my advice for autistics and carers of autistics with health. Because health is so important, guys, especially if you are like me and you have a disability that is deteriorating or whatever. Staying alive, staying in quality of life is so important, and we can do that with eating healthy, moving as much as possible, going to our GP, keeping up with the, full bloods, making sure that we're keeping everything okay, supplementing our diet if we have ARFID, trying to communicate to our person. Look, I'm struggling, so please be patient with us. I'm struggling. I've had these episodes more and more often now, and I'm struggling to communicate. So communications cards, you can buy them online. They come in packs of all different emotions, Don't ask me to list them. I've got alexithymia, I think it's called. Officially, that's the proper name. It's the inability to understand my emotions or others' emotions. And so these cards are not just for children. So get them for your autistic adult if you need to. I do recommend it. men and women, not just women, and always remember that we might say it's an emotion going on, but it literally could be our backs are hurting really badly and we say that we feel sad. That's when I reflect on what I say to Sir, he'll be like, and this is what you said, and then this is where we are. He's got the, the physio gun thing on my back, and he's like, yeah, this is not sadness, is it, sweetie? I'm making a joke now. Sorry. If this was said to me last night, I probably would have punched him on the arm. Not like, because that would have really, and I would have cried, actually. I would have been very upset and angry. I'm trying to make it funny. Because guys, look, it's hard being autistic. So my love is to all of you autistics that we feel really stupid a lot. And I'm regressing and I feel really frustrated. So anyway, grace for all in this situation, because being having an autistic in the family is hard. It's hard. But thank you for loving us, and we love you. Take care, guys, and I hope that this has helped someone, because even if it's like just when your autistic gets the flu, it's tough. It's tough being autistic with the senses and the communication and all of that. So anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next vlog.